Everything that Xi Jinping does has image and optics at its very core, and I'll tell you why. That includes furthering the perception that China's non-democratic economic model is in fact better than the Western free capitalist model. And that's the reason why it's actually playing peacemaker on multiple occasions. The latest being the Russia-Ukraine conflict, where China is set to mediate, or it seems like it will. The conflict is already in its third year. There's a serious prospect of a Trump 2.0 administration, and mediation could probably be the best possible outcome. So in comes China, swoops in to mediate, and as Zelensky knows, and so does NATO, that one of the first decisions that a Trump 2.0 administration will be to end the conflict, and which is why China is looking at mediation efforts. For China, meanwhile, the optics are perfect. Messy American politics contrasting with quote-unquote Chinese statecraft. But China has not even condemned Russia till now, so how can it actually be a neutral party in such a settlement? So what I want to say is, very simply, that China is doing this only because it has absolutely nothing to lose, everything to gain. If peace talks fail, Xi Jinping's ironclad relationship with Putin will strengthen further, since any failure of talks will box Putin in further, leaving him with few, possibly no options whatsoever. As I said, everything that Xi Jinping does has his optics and his influence at its very center. Also, this has less to do with peace and more to do with self-interest. China wants to create an alternate world order where it's a dominant force leading other countries that are either despots or dictatorships, and have no qualms about accepting its no-strings-attached funds. Take a look at where all China has been trying to broker peace. Weeks before the Afghanistan government fell, China tried to act as a negotiator with Taliban. And since then, China has used every opportunity to broker peace. Beijing enters into messy conflicts with two clear objectives. One, to send a message that the present world order, where America has been the primary arbitrator, is now defunct. And second, to promote its illiberal style of state-run capitalist economy. In Afghanistan, Chinese President Xi Jinping and his Russian counterpart Putin rubbed shoulders with the Taliban leadership at the third BRI forum in China in 2023, even though they had not formally recognized the Taliban government. In 2023 itself, China managed to get Saudi Arabia and Iran to bury the hatchet after 7 years, which has affected Israel's security calculus with the prospect of Shiite and Sunni leadership coming together. In 2024, China brought together the 14 factions of Palestinian leadership to form a unity government with a 3-step process which included recognition of the state of Palestine in the UN. And now it's the Russia-Ukraine conflict, where China has already outlined a 6-point peace process, subverting the Global Peace Summit. It remains to be seen if China can achieve lasting peace in any of these conflicts, or it could just be furthering its own interests in geographies where it has for long sought to be a relevant player. So what happens when China becomes a mediator of choice in global conflicts? Can a country that violates international law on land and sea be trusted to be a mediator? Or will China only be driven by its own interests of toppling the rules-based order? And what happens to conflicts where China itself is a party, like all its maritime neighbors in the Indo-Pacific? How does the world wrap around these questions and China as a possible mediator? On to Tech Tracker this week. Why is Bitcoin suddenly racing? Why does the future of the cryptocurrency depend on the political leanings and not about its fungibility? In fact, cryptocurrency is now completely wrapped around which way American politics will go from here. And that has financial implications for the world markets and global investors. Take a look at this report that tells you why politics will determine Bitcoin's present and future.
Two things in day one, right? Drill, baby, drill, and close our borders.
Those on the left feel that Bitcoin needs to be regulated. Those on the right feel that this is something that is symptomatic of American enterprise. In fact, biggest Silicon Valley names like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel support Donald Trump because they support cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is the technological and political expression of what they believe in. It is backed by blockchain technology, which has everything to do with the tech innovation coming out of the West Coast and not from the Securities Exchange Commission.